So, what are we thinking, Kyle? Do we want to do like a live skit first and kind of show team what we're thinking about and kind of go from there? What are we thinking? Or
No,
do we
I'm
want?
I'm I'm pumped up this morning. I'm ready to dive in.
Let's
Let's
go.
get after it. Let's get after it.
So let's. So I was talking to you this morning, and that one. What was I saying about this one call that we were listening to? Right.
It gave you mixed emotions. I'm
Mixed.
all mixed up about it. I'm in a glass house full of emotion.
I don't know if you guys recognize that movie, but man, it was exactly how I felt, man. I was so. This call starts off on a super high. I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, and then it falls into like the rabbit hole, the don'ts, and you're gonna see. So Kyle's gonna play this song, this live call for you, and I want your guys' feedback. I want to hear from you and see what your thoughts are, and then we'll give you a little bit of our thoughts. So you ready to rock?
Yeah, make sure. Let me know if you can hear it. Okay, all right. We're gonna get
Yeah,
started.
absolutely. I'll double tap my mic and let you know.
All right, cool.
Good day, Techy. This is Brian. How can I help you?
Hey, I got a question for you. I was just at Verizon in Streetsboro, and the girl in here said that somebody from your company came in and brought them donuts and left their number and said that you guys seem like a good company to call. So I wanted to call about repairing an Apple Watch.
All right, no problem.
So why don't you pause it right there, Kyle?
Watches are definitely a tricky.
So did you guys hear what the start of the conversation was, and how like their marketing skills are working? The customer lively said, I went to the Verizon store. They highly recommended you because you brought a box of donuts to us. We preach this all the time. Put your boots on the ground. Go to these stores and build that relationship. And this call came from that exact situation and was unbelievable to see that happen and hear it, to show you guys it works. We're not just talking about this to you guys. We're not just preaching this to you guys. This is a live call. It works. Get your butts out there, start showing face, show up, the first part of success, and look what's going to happen. All right, now continue to play the call. So he said, "Do you guys fix Apple Watches?" And watch the next steps. So he started off awesome with the marketing. Now let's listen into the conversion.
So
I figured.
Okay, so basically, here's how it works with the Apple Watches. Most of the time, it's more expensive to get the part to repair it than it is to buy another watch. However, we are getting into refurbing, and I can fix it at a much better price because I don't have to buy a new part. I can actually fix your part.
So let's pause it there.
Just bring it over here. Let me take a.
So what happened there, Kyle? Come on, give the audience like what's going on around there.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Sorry.
So raise your hand, come up to the top. Tell me what you guys think about that next step. So the first step was they brought a box of donuts. They went to Verizon. Unbelievable job. Hands down, you rock. Your marketing skills are tip-top shape. Fantastic. The next thing is they called to get this repair done. And the first word out of the team member's mouth was, and who wants to engage on this? As Kyle has got a couple hiccups here. Who wants to? What do you think they did? What could they have done better in that situation? Maybe, maybe they did do great. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? I want to hear from you guys. So, Darren, you came up. What do you think? What do you think?
I would have just said we can absolutely help. What time would you like to come in? But he's trying to over explain and say, well, normally, I think what he was trying to say, normally, if you go anywhere else, it's going to be a little bit too expensive, but we're great. We can refurb it, blah, blah, blah. But even all
But
that,
what did
that's
he?
not necessary because the
Yeah.
guy's going to come in. He's like
So
excited to come in. Okay, come on in. Let's take a look at it. That's all you got to say.
exactly. Yeah. Well, Jonathan, what do you think? You came up, Jonathan. What are your thoughts?
No, I was going to say the same thing as Darren, is really just saying absolutely we can fix that for you, get them into the store, And then when you're at the store, look through the options, and they might not want to buy a new watch. They might want to just fix that one and get it over with. So, you don't really know what their intentions, or how they feel about it. So for them,
Absolutely.
it might be worth the money, And
Absolutely.
I think a lot of times we think like we're spending their money for them, and we don't really know their priorities, their time frame, why they want to get something done.
Amen. Amen to that. Darren and Jonathan, great suggestions. Bruce, you had something. What was your thoughts?
I shared a similar thing. I actually think it was a good call. But you
Well,
say
just
that
the beginning of the
all the
call,
time.
just
You
the
always get.
first 30 seconds of the call. About here. What's your the first part with the donuts is great. That is unbelievable. The second part, what's your thoughts about the second part?
I agree. It was over explaining. It was focused more on absolutely could take care of that. When can I expect you?
So how do we, guys? This is a live call. We preach. This particular store is actually a newer store. They went through our training recently. And so what we're trying to fix here is how do we get this mindset out of individuals? How do we get this? How do we flip the script to say, why are we telling a customer it's too expensive? He never asked for a price. He never asked if it was expensive. All he said, do you fix Apple Watches? The next thing out of a lot of us, and I think I would say the majority of us, is, oh my God, it's a Samsung, it's so expensive. Oh, it's a watch, it's so expensive. Like, why are we giving this voluntary information out when they're not even asking for it? So how do we change that and drive them into the door is my biggest thing. So the reason I love this call so much, and the reason we said, me and Kyle in the beginning, I'm in a mix full of I'm in a glass shade full of emotion, is because the beginning is awesome. You guys marketed home run, but then your conversion is like, what in the crap is going on there? You know what I mean? And so that is where we need to focus on, because so many of us are always worried about marketing, 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 and we forget that conversion is just as important. And so how do we get people to change? And Darren and Jonathan and Bruce, you guys know the processes, but how do we come together and make this happen? And what is it going to take for us to do it? Because I guarantee you'll double sales if this happens. So Bruce, I don't know if you had something. I saw you on mute there.
Oh no, it just yeah. No, I agree with you on that. It's cut down the chatter, increase the hey, just let's get you in the door. I think some of it is we are focusing on trying to get our equipment up and running for doing the glass only repairs. Um, from what we've seen, especially on Apple devices, the quotes that people are getting, I don't know where they're getting prices from for some of this stuff. It's like we had I forget exactly what it was. I think it was a 13 Ultra the other day, where the customer was fervent that they were told that they could do a complete fix for $300, and that was through the CPR. And it's like I can't even get the part for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's true, right? And I'm sure there's ways around it. But my whole thing on this conversation here, and because yes, pricing, Apple Watch pricing right now is high, right? Samsung pricing is higher. iPhone 14 repair is higher. The 100, you guys are that correct. But what I'm trying to what we're trying to talk about here is tier one, where just drive them into the store and then give them all that knowledge when they come into the store. Because if they're not asking for that stuff, why are we giving it over the phone? And I think that's the biggest challenge that we're having, is we're trying to solve the problem over the phone, and we're trying to like just pour into them, and I think it's becoming too much. and we're losing customers across the board because of it. Now, when they walk through the door, we give them options, because here's the deal: a phone call over the phone, we convert at 20%. That's what our conversion is across the board. When they walk through the door, our conversion rate is 60%. So why are we pouring our stuff into them when we can only convert over the phone at 20%? Let's focus them to get in the door. Let's get that number up to 40%. And there's an increase right there in 40% profitability. So think about that, guys, when we're throwing out some numbers here. Why these phone calls are so important, that we study these things, we have a PBX system, and we go back and we talk to our team members and we role play on a daily basis, because this is happening across the board. I listened to about 100 calls yesterday, and there was only one call out of 100 that I was very impressed with. And I'm picky, obviously, but I'm gonna be that way because we want to be as best as we possibly can. But with that being said, there was really only a handful that I was like, wow, that was a great call. And look, they still converted out of those 100, 20 of those calls. But the people that converted 20 of those calls are well-oiled machines and been in the industry for a long time and are very good at sales. But you know what? The other people that answer the phone calls maybe have only been with us for 3 to 4 months and are not well-oiled machines yet. They will get there. Are maybe not the best in sales. They will get there, but they're listening to us answer the phone calls that are the leaders in the sales, and they're trying the same thing, which is scaring the customers away. So I don't know if that makes sense, guys, and I hope you see some of these things, and I hope you guys really take this serious, because this is something that's happening across the board and in the whole company, if you will. So, Kyle, what you got?
Hey, yeah, just to kind of reiterate, I was listening to calls yesterday too, and just to drive the nail further, I was listening to some of our corporate team members in a location that will remain nameless, and luckily the team member's not on here, or I was going to roast them pretty hard today. This individual this
We don't want
individual
to do it.
knows, right. This individual knows better, right, at this state, and really, it was two separate calls that came in the afternoon yesterday. One, storybook layup finish, right. The customer calls in, ask, hey, can you replace the screen on my Samsung SE21 or my FE or something of that nature? The team member goes immediately into, I don't have that part in stock. Immediately, the very next thing out of his mouth was, I don't have that part in stock. Okay.
Next.
Completely botched the call. Next customer calls in, ask about a repair, immediately goes into giving her the price over the phone. Doesn't say anything else, just gives her the price. Hang on 1 second, let me pull up the price for you. I mean, just absolutely, completely dropped the ball on both of those calls, which we could have converted. And needless to say, the store was doing very, very little in revenue that day. And I completely understand why. Because I listened to the calls that team member had that day, and they were horrendous. Every single one of them. Giving information over the phone that customers didn't ask for, not driving customers into the store, trying to come up with a solution in the meantime. Basically, the way that I felt he answered his calls is he actually didn't want those customers to come into the store. That's how bad they were. Like, I don't want your business. I'm going to give you every reason why you don't want to come here. I don't have the part in stock. Here's the expensive price. It's going to take me 2 hours. It's going to take me 4 hours. I mean, every reason why you should not come see me.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
it's just absolutely unreal.
I sent you
Like,
another call, Kyle, and there was one from we recently uh merged with Lifeline Repairs, and they answered a call, and that particular call, he says on the call, you know what? Let me fix the phone. Let me help you fix the phone over the phone. I was like, what? How are you gonna fix their phone over the phone? You know what I mean? And so you have that call. I don't know if you want to play that one. That one's
yeah,
a
I got it queued up right here.
play that one, because that one's great, because you're gonna see the rabbit hole. He's gonna take the customer down. Like, he's gonna take this customer down. Open your phone. Just go ahead and play it and listen in.
Hey, before you play the next call, can I put my 2 cents in
Absolutely,
here?
absolutely, Darren.
So
Guys, and if
so
you guys don't agree with this, like, come up and tell us. Like, we're cool with it, but we're trying to move the needle for everybody, and we believe this is what it's gonna take. So go for it, Darren.
yeah, no, I agree with everything you say, and even though I know this 100% and I know what we should and shouldn't do, and I can give a perfect call and get $100, I still myself throughout the day find myself volunteering the price and slipping back into things, and nobody's perfect. But I will say this: I want to figure out why we do this, and I think it boils down to we're trying to diagnose over the phone. Yes, we're technicians sometimes. Yes, but why do we slip into doing that throughout the day? And here's my 2 cents on that. Throughout the day, when we receive phone calls, we are doing repairs. We are in our technician's brain. We are trying to fix a phone while taking a phone call. We're checking people in while taking a phone call. So we have to really focus with our employees and our team members to turn that off because we're in technician mode. So I think what I'm going to take away from today is, because I hear it in my team member. I have a specific team member that immediately goes into trying to diagnose over the phone and over explain, and it's just like, dude, just like get them in the store. And we know we just got to get them in the store. But I think getting down to the root cause of why we end up in technician mode, which is, I really think, because while we're taking phone calls, we're doing technical things. We're trying to repair something at that time. So I think if we explain to our technicians, hey, when you answer that phone call, put your tools down, and remember, the whole point of the call is just to get them into the store. Don't diagnose over the phone. That's for in the store. Just get them here. So I think that might help a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that, and it's a great point. And look, I get it. Like, we've been doing this 15 years, and for the last year we've been preaching this, and for 14 years we did it the old way, but it doesn't work, and it's proven. And I get it, because we're in the business of solving problems, so we want to solve the problem, but we want to solve the problem as fast as we possibly can. And I think that's what's happening, Darren, is that we're trying to solve the problem as fast as possible and trying to help the customer out as fast as possible. But what's happening 80% of the time is that we're putting these customers and scaring the crap out of them because we're putting them down the rabbit hole. And this is what this next call is going to show you. Go for it, Kyle.
Thanks for calling Lifeline Repairs in Peachtree City. How may I help you?
Yes, sir. Where are you located?
We're located at 1007 Georgian Park. Do you know where Kedron Village is?
I think so. I'm across from the Bank of America off 54.
Gotcha.
I think it's what road this is. I don't know my roads.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with there. Do you know where the Shell gas station and the Valvoline are? Near, well, if you're not familiar with Kedron Village, you probably wouldn't know it. Do you know where the Target is in the Kroger?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So that's Kedron Village. So
Gotcha. Okay.
we're the next light up from Kedron Village, where the Shell gas station and the Valvoline are. The Valvoline is on the corner at the four-way intersection.
Right there.
Yeah, you'll see it. We're literally right next door to the Shell.
Okay, awesome. I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
No problem. See you soon.
All right, so I don't know if that was the one, but I like that call because we've talked about this in the past. He started off with an address immediately. Nobody knows north, east, south, west anymore. Nobody knows addresses anymore. We input everything into our phones now. Landmarks are important. So you saw on that call, he was saying Kedrick Village, uh, which is obviously a shopping plaza or something like that. Nobody really, I would say, knows what a shopping plaza. When was the last time you drove into your shopping plaza and go, oh, that's the name of the plaza? No, you need landmarks. Walmart, Target. You saw when he said Target, he knew exactly what it was. So you pick up on these landmarks. So if I'm listening to this call, I'm thinking I'm done giving them the address over the phone. I'm giving them huge landmarks and I'm texting them the address. That's what could have caused that call to go from a minute and 10 seconds to a 20-second call, which time is money, right? Because we got our tools in our hands and we're trying to fix phones. So let's get straight to the point. And so that's on that call. So that wasn't the exact one we're talking about, but he could play the next one. But I hope that makes sense to you guys. Kyle, you have anything?
Yeah, it's funny. I just answered the phone last week, and same thing. Customer trying to find us, and I immediately said, "Hey, do you mind if I text? Is this your cell phone number? Do you mind if I just text you the address?" And she was like, "Oh my God, absolutely, thank you, please. I'm on my way right now." And I was like, "Okay, fine." Text it right over. Boom, customer came right to us. So just ask. I think a lot of customers are going to be very thankful that especially if they're in their car on their way, sitting at a stoplight trying to search Google Maps and trying to find you. Just text them that address, and just ask. And if I think you'll see that you'll get accepted a lot and it'll seem like really good customer service. But I got that other call up, so we'll go ahead and listen to that one here too real quick.
Thanks, Techy. This is Joshua. How can I help you?
Joshua, I've got a friend of mine that has an iPhone, and he's just having some difficulties with it. It's probably 5 years old. I think the speaker or something in it is kind of messed up. Can you guys go through? Can you guys go through those and kind of see what's wrong?
I can usually, but sometimes I can even do diagnostics over the phone. Is it an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus?
I don't know if I can even answer that for you.
Because iPhones. Yeah. Can you get into the settings on the phone or no?
We think it's a 7 only. Is there a way I can identify it?
Usually in settings. So here's my second question. Whenever he's making a phone call or whatever, is the speaker button grayed out?
All right, so you want to pause? You want to pause that?
On speaker.
So, look at this. These are live calls, guys. I mean, give me your feedback. Come on up to the top. Raise that hand. Tell us what you think. But
He's trying to make sure it's not touch IC disease.
I get it.
That's great, but who gives a crap? Just tell him.
Exactly. I know. I know. He's trying to stop the
He's
sale.
gonna know what touch IC disease is. He doesn't even know what iPhone he has.
The best part of this call, and guys, we're not trying to make fun of this because it's not. It's really not funny. It sucks because we want. At the end of the day, we're in it for this business, but we're not trying to make fun of the situation. We're trying to improve, and that's what I hope you guys are getting out of this. But he assumed this is all going through this guy's head. It's a 5-year-old phone. Okay, it's an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus immediately. That's it. He assumed a 7 Plus. I don't even know. That might be 7 years old. So now he's going down. Yes, and Darren, because you've been in this industry so long, Darren, you know exactly. It could be an iPhone 7 Touch ID issue, but the issue is a new person that just got hired is not going to know that stuff, and they're going down these rabbit holes. So I don't know. Look, guys, I just want I want to share this with you guys because this is happening across the board, and it's just we need to drive the customer through the door. This person was trying to fix his friends. Think about the scenario. The guy's calling from his friend another phone. It's for his friend's phone, and he's trying to ask his friend, "What kind of phone do you have?" He doesn't even know. He's telling him go through the settings, look for the model number. Like, what are we doing here, right? And that call goes on for how long, Kyle?
I don't even know. But before the guy even gets through that step, he asked him, "All right, my second question. Wait a minute, we haven't even answered your first damn question, actually." You know what I mean? Yeah, unbelievable. When all he needed to say is, "Absolutely, I can take a look at that for you. Do you know where we're located?"
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the customer would have been there, he had with the phone in his hands, and that's what we miss out on the opportunities, right? So this guy's got an issue with this phone. That could have been an upgrade. That could have been a trade-in. You got that device in, gave the guy $100 or $50 for that phone, put him in an iPhone XS, XR, 11, whatever the case may be, and you could have had a device sale. But no, what did we do? It's just it's time and time again. And like you said, I know it sounds like we're beating this stuff to death, but we listen to the calls. We have access to these calls all across the entire brand, and it's happening in every single
Does anybody else
location.
have any other suggestions on why technicians tend to do this, myself included? Why we try to cover all our bases before the customer comes in the store? Like, we try to take care of all the what ifs. I mean,
Yeah.
is there something that we could tell them? That's what I want to figure out, is like, what is the reason that it happens so much, and what can we say to a technical person?
I think it's a habit. I think it's like when you go to work out every single day, right? And until you do it 21 times consecutively, you're not going to break that habit. It's the same thing on these phone calls. Like, if you don't if you don't practice it, if you don't do it every single day and you don't live by it, you're never going to break the habit. You're going to go back to your old ways. So when you're busy and you're in a crap situation and the customer's yelling in your face, you're going to go back to your old ways. You're not going to go back to the new ways. And I think that's the issue that's happening, because I think and this is nothing to do with just our industry. This is just in general. Like, if you don't practice and change it, you're going to go back to your old ways. And I think that's the biggest issue that we're having. And the leaders of the company or the store manager, the owner, is answering the call a different way. So they're hearing it that way. And they're going, I'm going to follow that guy or that girl.
But
And,
I guess
you
what I
know,
was saying is like when I was taught to train people, you always
yeah,
explain the why. Why are you doing something? So like,
absolutely.
what can we say is the why to a technical to all of our technicians
Can
like
I?
like that?
I was waiting for you, Ann.
Yeah.
Go
Hey.
for it.
Well, I know where we were our first year and a half in business. Um, we got tired of people coming in and getting pissed off because it wasn't what they thought it would be. And so we ended up trying to avoid those situations and trying to ask a lot of questions over the phone, because we weren't very confident in what we were doing yet. Um, yeah, so we were just trying to avoid people yelling in our face. But we were, as we've grown, I realized that we were actually making it more difficult for ourselves. It's so much better to say, yeah, we can totally handle that for you. Bring it on in. We're happy to take a look at it for you. And, do you know where we're located? Because then when they come in the store, we're actually being more helpful. And it was hard to get that through our heads to begin with. That when they come in the store, there are so many more options we can offer them, and handle it doesn't mean I'm going to fix that thing in your hand and make it brand new. Handle it means I'm going to offer you an option that's totally going to work for you. And we're going to get you back going with your life, and you don't have to fuss over this.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. That's kind of what I was going to say. I think there was, again, depending on the life cycle of where you're at in the business and your skill set for repairs. And the other part of that is I think inherently you guys want to help. You guys want to give good customer service. You want to help this person that came into you. Yeah, that's why you bought this business. This is a relationship, people building business, customer service related business. You guys want to help, and you feel by giving them the information, helping them out over the phone is going to lead them coming into your store because you're the one offering the solution and offering the help. But like you said, ultimately, a lot of times that hurts you more than it helps you. And I agree with Andy. You said it perfect. Like, I'm going to give you a solution that works for you. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to fix the device that's in your hand. That might not be the best solution. But until you come in, I can't give you all the opportunities and all the solutions for you because all I'm doing is talking to you over the phone, and I really don't have all the information needed to offer you all the value and solutions that I can. And that's what you have to keep telling yourself and keep reminding yourself. And I think that's a really great point, Anna.
Yes, absolutely. And you always bring the heat. I love it. You always bring that, because you come from a background of teaching, right? Like, so
Yeah.
you understand it, like, and that's the hard part for me too, because I don't come from the background of teaching. And I, like, so like Kyle and I were talking, and Nick, we're talking about phone calls, and we're doing recordings, and we're putting it on Tech University, and we talk about this, and I'm just like, what do we need to do to get this across the board to change? And I'm like, I hope Anna comes up today, because I know you come from the background of teaching. And for me, I don't think I'm the best teacher. I mean, I can, but maybe my delivery is a little stronger. But that's what I'm trying to figure out too, as well, is like, how can we teach this across the board? I mean, the one phone call with the donut one, they literally just left headquarters not even 30 days ago, and they were trained on the tier process, but they already falled back to the, I don't even know which way, some way they came from.
Yeah.
And how do we stop that from happening?
We screw up all the time too. Just, we don't walk on water yet. I still find myself going down rabbit holes. But one thing that made a really big difference for my team is when I did help them understand that we can actually be more helpful to the customer in the store than over the phone. And that kind of assuaged their, because they were trying to be authentic and sincere and not misrepresent things, et cetera, et cetera. And helping my team understand that just inviting people into the store is not being insincere or leading people on or things like that. It is literally opening up the options that we can get for them and make their situation better, because they don't always know customers don't always know what they want or what they need. And once we have a full handle on the situation, then we can find something that really works best for them. And that has to be in the store. It's
I
all
like that. You can help them more. I like that.
keep teaching, Hannah. Appreciate that. That makes me feel good too. And that's what we're trying to do, is like make we don't want you guys to feel like we're like, a lot of times we'll hear like, oh, you guys are being too salesy or too pushy. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to solve the problem in the store that we can't do over the phone. And I think that's the thing that we're trying to say. So Anna said it 100%, and I'll definitely grab that little note there and share it across the board. So appreciate you guys. Who's got some questions? Anybody have any questions? Love to hear from you. Come on up to the top.
I have one, because we deal in sales a lot and people call
Hmm.
around for what something costs to buy. How would you apply the tier system to, hey, I'm looking for a MacBook Pro. What have you got in stock?
Absolutely, you called the right place. I have plenty of MacBooks right here. Why don't you come on in? I'm gonna fit you into the right one that you need today. Um, and then just leave it at that. What time can I expect you? Do you know where we're located? That would what I would you got to control the call, and this is a little bit more in depth, but you got to control that call. You can't let them control the call, and that's the whole point of it, is just driving them through the door. So does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's where I think you leverage the size of being with Techy and the size of the brand, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
you just say, yes, absolutely. We have many MacBooks available, and we also have 230 locations worldwide. I'm sure we can find you the perfect MacBook for your needs. Why don't you come in?
Yep.
And then just leave it at that.
Yeah. 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 Keep it real simple. And if they ask more questions, they start asking more questions, then you start rolling into tier two, right? So you stay at tier one, don't move it from tier one, and then you go to tier two if they ask for pricing, and then you can give ranges on tier two, and then when you go to tier three, that's when they're giving you even more like pushback. Like, I need a price right now. I need a price right now, and that's when we come in with the 1-year warranty and these kind of things that we have. And then you go to tier four, where they're like, I'm not coming in. Well, then that's tier four, is where your follow up game needs to be very successful. And so when you hit into the tier four, where they're like, look, it's too expensive, I'm not coming in. The call's over. You hung up. You still should follow up with that customer, and see if they maybe they called another place and they're like, wow, that price was actually really good. Let me but they forgot the number or something, and so that follow up game is super important. So stay, don't don't get out of that tier one. Don't go into tier two and without finishing tier one. So does that make sense? I mean, and it takes practice. What do you think, Anna?
Yeah, that totally makes sense, and that helps. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
absolutely.
that's one of the rabbit holes we fall down all the time. Is that
Yeah.
they'll take the call and then we wander out onto the sales floor looking around, and that's a
Yep.
call that take half an hour, which is stupid. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's money. That's
yeah,
you got four other devices in front of you. You got a customer in front of you. Like,
yeah.
our average phone call, like, that we were listening to, was 5 minutes. Like, the call should be under 2.5 minutes. Every call should be under 2.5 minutes. And like, you know what, like, Anna, when you go into the floor and you're on a call for 30 minutes, you probably convert most of those customers. But the issue that happens is you're not always there. And so then what ends up happening is your team members don't convert those people, because they're just not going to work as hard as you are. and they're not going to put 30 minutes into a phone call, and they're not going to go above and beyond. And in that 30-minute call that you did, you successfully converted, and congratulations. But is your team member that's watching you and learning from you
Yeah.
going to do the same thing? And I
Well, they
don't
do
think
actually, but then the problem is that they couldn't get the phone repair done, and then that customer's angry. So it's this,
exactly.
it's this balance of both, that's
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's look, I get it. It's not easy, guys, but let's try to keep it simple as possible, and let's drive them into the store. That's all that matters. We're gonna help them when they get here, and you have to believe the first part of the whole process is believe that we are the right place to call. That don't call Apple, don't call Best Buy, don't call Target, don't call Walmart, don't call these other competitions. You called the best place in the world. I promise you, I'm gonna give you the right direction. Even if when you get into the store, even if I don't convert you into a sale, I'm gonna lead you to the right step, and you need to believe that. And I think that's where a lot of us start losing it. We're like, that's where we go down. Oh my God, it's so expensive. That's expensive to you, but there's other options out there that might not be as expensive. So, Corey, you can not Corey. You, let's see what we have here. Who came up?
Good
Colby.
morning.
Jonathan. Jonathan. Who was that?
That was me.
Well,
Um,
Jonathan on
you-
mic too. I was like, wait, there's multiple voices here.
Now,
Uh,
Colby from our
Col-
team, he had a question for you.
Colby, what's up, man? What's going on, man? I love you guys' team. I follow you guys on Facebook all day long, and I love what you guys do. And anytime I need a little bit of motivation, I just go onto your guys' page, and I just love it. I love everything you guys are doing. But go ahead, what you got?
That's awesome. We were wondering more how you handle situations where the customer's not very happy with you. Like we had a customer come in the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and we were following the typical script of, yeah, you're looking to get this repaired today. Come into the shop. We'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to help you. And we ended up not being able to help them. I don't remember if that was because we didn't have the part in stock that day or something else, but they weren't very happy with us. And they're like, why did I waste my time coming here?
Yep.
I'm an hour away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is bull crap. Like you're making me not want to come back. How would you handle that?
Yeah.
Where the customer's not very happy with you or the service that's being provided?
Yeah. Yeah. And look, one thing I want to bring up is every situation and scenario is so different. So there's so many steps that led to this point, and kind of Anna brought it up in the first place. Was like, you these customers coming upset because we said that one word, that one content that caused them to think that we have this stuff. But the first thing with an upset customer is just totally understand and consult with them. Like, hey, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. My name is Colby. I'm gonna take great care of you. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to solve this as fast as possible. Let me get with let me go to the back and get with one of my team members. We have over 230 stores. Let me see if somehow we can get this today, maybe, and just go that little extra step and go to the back of the house and maybe call somebody and see if there's a way to solve it. And just by doing that right there and giving that extra little step, they appreciate it. By trying to talk to them face on face, I feel like what ends up happening is like you're going down uh you're not even trying to help them. So that's what you really want to do is like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm this is I'm here to help you. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Give me 1 second. Let me go to the back and go that route and start reaching out and coming up with different game plans for that customer, because I'm sure we could help that customer. Maybe not at that very moment, but maybe there's another way we could assist them. You know what I mean? And satisfy whatever it may be. So, is you live an hour away? I'll go pick the phone. I'll drop it off to you. There's just so many other things that you could possibly do. But again, every situation is different. Every scenario is different. When a customer is mad or upset, you need to make sure that you don't take it personal, that you say, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I'm going to take care of you. I promise you. Give me 1 second here and get that little cooling down phase. and then go back out with a game plan. And that's the best way I can answer that for you, because again, every situation is different. Does that help?
Yeah, that does. Actually, I had a really other small question as well.
Absolutely, go for it.
Um, s- would you justify giving a price over the phone if they need an exact price to know how much money, like, to ask from their spouse or from their father or whatever?
Absolutely. Like if they're gonna ask you for a price over the phone, like the first time, go down the free diagnosis, the range, and they're like, hey, but I need a price because I need to get my exact money. Yeah, don't beat around the bush there. That's just not being authentic. That's just not being personable. Like give them the exact price is perfectly fine. The whole point, we're not saying avoid price altogether. We're not saying that at all. We're saying don't skip the process. Stay on tier 1, then go to tier 2, and now when they go to, hey, I need the exact price, now you're on tier 3. So give them that price and then give them the value that you're going to give to them, right? So if they are asking you for the price, give it to them, but don't forget about your processes that you need to take steps through tier 1, tier 2, through 3. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes great sense. Thank you.
That's one thing that we don't want to make a mistake on. Like, and I've heard that from a couple of our partners. Is like, so you don't want me to give a price over the phone at all? No. We're not saying that. We're not saying that at all. We are saying go through the steps: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. We're not saying don't give a customer the price over the phone. We're saying avoid the process. Don't give them that voluntary information over the phone if they're not asking for it. And that's what we're trying to stay away from.
Can I add one thing to that? When you go into the back and you're trying to generate solutions, my people sometimes get, because I'm in the store, I'm a hands-on owner and I
Yeah.
don't have that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'm not in the store, my team isn't brainstorming what they could do options wise to solve that problem for the customer, because they don't know if we could do it or if I would think it was okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I've been trying to teach them is go ahead and come up with solutions,
Yep.
deliver it, ship it to them, call another store, come up with some options. And then if you're unsure, call me and say, I'm going to
Yes.
offer them these options. Is that all right with you? Sure. But
Yeah.
they did the work to come up with the options to help the customer, and then text me or run it by me if you feel uncomfortable just volunteering the store's resources. That's fine. They just didn't feel like they had the authority to change up our usual offerings, but I'm totally fine with that. And can tell them if it's absolutely something we could do, or maybe I have an idea to tweak that to make it better or whatever. But just, yeah, totally come up with the options, run it by if you need to.
Yeah. You want your team members to make their own decisions. Like it's like when you have kids, it's the same thing. Or when you're a kid, you have to make that mistake to know you're not going to do it again, or whatever it may be. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to go back and over deliver sometimes and go, oh my god, I need to figure out how. I mean, I under deliver, but I need to figure out how to over deliver. It's okay to do that kind of stuff. You have the support that's here for you, so don't be afraid to make decisions. I, for me, and I'm glad you shared that. Like, I would never get upset with a team member if they made a decision and it was the wrong decision. Hey, let's learn from it. You know what I mean? Did you make that customer happy? Did we win that customer over? Great. That's great. And that's all that really matters. So like that's the same point that I bring when I say I'll never get mad to a team. I never get mad anyways, but at a team member if you bring the customer through the door and you lowball them on a price. It's when you don't convert that customer is when the issues come into play, because that's causing a bigger issue. So and I hope that makes sense. So, but yeah, Anna, thank you so much. Colby, thank you so much for coming up and teaching me your name, because obviously I couldn't read it. But yeah, guys, look, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know some things, but don't hesitate to reach out and leverage what we have here for everybody. We all want to we all want to make money. We all want to solve problems, and we all want to have fun doing it. And I think these are some of the things that we have here for you guys. So, great engagement today. Anna, thank you so much for coming up. Darren, as always. Colby, thank you so much. Jonathan, as always, coming up. Kyle, thank you for the live calls. What do you guys think about the live calls? Put a number. If you like the live calls, put a number 1 in the chat. If you don't like the live calls, put a number 2 in the chat. So we know, we want your feedback. Like, should we be doing more live calls like this? I mean, I don't. My thing is, and Anna taught me this, is I don't want to embarrass people. You know what I mean? I'm not trying. We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to embarrass you we're trying to learn and grow together. And so I just don't want that feeling to happen. So everybody got one went up real quick, which is super cool. But I don't want people to feel embarrassed. We're not picking and choosing on certain people, certain stores. We're not. We're literally just going through the PBX system and grabbing the first call and listening in and then grabbing them. So, but Kyle, thank you so much for doing that. Kyle, you have anything before we go? It is the weekend, right? How's your
Yeah.
March Madness looking?
Yeah, no, last night was a pretty exciting Sweet 16. A couple of really good matchups there. Our first overtime thriller. Excited for that. And a couple more games tonight. Obviously, David, good luck tonight. Big one against Miami. I know a lot of people will be tuning in down here. But with that, thank you guys for joining and participating. Like I said earlier, this is all about growing together, learning together, sharing these experiences together, and just becoming the best we can. And I hope you guys know that. And like Tim said, this is not picking on anybody. This isn't trying to point anybody out, anything of that nature. It's just a learning opportunity so we all can convert and grow our businesses together. So with that, everybody have a great, fantastic Friday and a good weekend. And we will see you Monday, same time, for some marketing tips.
Awesome. Jonathan, you got something before we go? No, he just muted himself. Okay, cool. Thanks.
See you guys.